Hello everybody, Big Planes here, and today I have an update video to share with you on my custom Lego Boeing British Airways 777-300ER. So let's dive right into it, shall we? So this video is going to cover a few different topics and parts of this plane. I have both made progress to the tail of this model, which is what the video is primarily about. However, that's not it. I have also made a number of changes to other parts of the aircraft based off of viewer feedback from previous videos. So I'm going to start with that actually because I think that that's probably a little more interesting, so I want to get into that first. So I'm going to start this off with the nose, and in my last video that I published a few days ago, I presented what I considered to be a sort of first rough draft of the nose. And you know how these things go. I'll make a design and then I will continue to make changes to that design as I feel it is necessary. And I got a lot of feedback on that video. It seemed like every other comment was somebody saying the nose either looked like a Boeing 767 or it looked like an Airbus A330. So I sort of chuckled at that because every time I design a nose, somebody thinks it looks like something else. I remember when I built the A380, everybody said it looked like a 777, and this time around, everybody thinks it looks like a 767. So I guess I'll just use that design to build a 767, but I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. Nonetheless, I believe my viewers were correct in pointing out that it didn't look right. So I have made some changes. And the most notable, it may not be super obvious right now because I don't have the old nose to compare it with, but the first thing that I've done is I lowered the windshield. So I'm going to get a little bit closer in here. Sorry about the shaky camera, but I lowered this windshield right here by about 1 stud. So this did a couple of things. The first thing it did is it brought the windshield more in line with the doors as was what it's supposed to look like. You can see by the blueprint behind the plane there, that's clearly what it's supposed to look like, as well as I increased the size of the forehead. So this is the other thing I did, is this forehead here has now been extended down. I got rid of the gray pieces down here and I brought the white all the way out. So I think, oh, and I made some small changes to the radome. I got rid of the larger piece right here, and I think this looks much better. I had to get rid of the slopes right here because when I lowered the windshield, I just couldn't fit them anymore. But I think it actually ended up looking really good. I think this looks a lot more like a 777 now, at least in my opinion. And yeah, it looks a lot better. And I've also lowered this ball joint piece here. So again, this may not be super obvious. In fact, I'm going to come around from the other side because the lighting is a little bit better. There we go. That's better. I've lowered this ball joint piece right here so it's no longer protruding below the window line. So like I said, I think this looks much better. It looks more like a 777 now, and yeah, I'm happy with it. You can see here that we have a prototype door here for scale, and we have a minifigure there for scale as well. Again, I will be installing doors on all of these door openings here. I'm just waiting for those parts to arrive. So that's the first change I've made, and I think, like I said, I'm going to back up a little bit here so you can actually see it with some context. So it's a big airplane. I really think that makes a difference. It looks so much more like a 777, and is it 100% done yet? Probably not. I might still continue to make little changes here and there. Obviously, I still need to get decals on, but I think it looks much better than it did before. Another change I made, and some of you guys may have noticed this, is I made the engines larger. And I'm going to come over here so you can see it. Yes, the engines are larger now. They're actually larger by quite a bit to look more like the GE 90s that they're supposed to be, because in addition to everybody telling me that the nose didn't look like a 777, a lot of folks left in the comments that the engines were too small, and I would have to agree. They just did not look correctly proportioned. So I went in and I made them larger, mostly larger in diameter. I've made the intakes larger, and I've also made this front area here just larger. They're just larger, and I think it looks better. It's more accurate to what the 777-300 would look like, and I'm quite satisfied with that. So I'm going to come around here so you can see this a little bit better because the lighting from the window helps. So yeah, there's not a whole ton of design changes to it. I mostly just brought these panels out on each side by just a little bit, and I redesigned the intake to be a little bit larger. The fan on the inside is still the same, but obviously this looks a little bit better. It's better proportioned. So those are the changes that I've made to the existing model based off of viewer feedback. I think viewer feedback is very valuable, of course, and I take it seriously. Of course, keep in mind that it is Lego and there are limitations with Lego. However, I try to listen to viewers as much as I can, and I think in this case it has ultimately helped. So let's talk about what I've done that's new here, and the new stuff is fairly obvious. It's this tail segment right here. Now, to be fair, this was very repetitive. So the roof design is basically the same. This goes all the way back to the front and all the way back here. The lower side is basically the same as the roof. I'll try to get a little bit closer here so you can see it. The lower side is more or less the same as the roof, and you can also see there is a cargo door there. I have not installed the actual door yet since I need to redesign the door because it's too heavy and won't stay open, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, and keep in mind this blueprint that you're seeing under the model is no longer accurate. This blueprint was designed, or this blueprint was printed out based on the 777-200. This is a 300. I changed that earlier on, so this blueprint still applies, just add about 5 inches to the front and back. So it's pretty basic. Again, the other thing is that it's not super obvious from the side. I'll come around here. I have installed lights on the entirety of the interior. All of the lights are in. From the front to the back, it's all lit up. And I'll come around here so you can see this. I think this is a pretty neat view if you ask me. I'm going to come down low here. You can see all the way up to the front. Still see there's some cables hanging down. Those will be tucked in when the time comes, but all the lights are in, and when I get the inside in, and there appears to be a dead light right there, I'm gonna have to check that out. But when I get the inside in, I'm going to get some very, very cool interior shots with a small camera. I have a very small camera that can get these shots, and yeah, that looks pretty cool. And this is something that I don't usually do, but I thought I would go all out on this because people really tend to like lights on the inside of airplanes, and I do too. I think it looks really cool, and it helps to just bring the inside to life. So yeah, this is most of the progress I've made on this. I'm hoping I can get this started, the actual tail cone with the empennage and all this good stuff back here. I'm hoping I can get that started fairly soon. Again, I want to get this model done within the next 2 weeks. That's right, 2 weeks. That's the timeline that is the timeline that I'm setting out for myself here. So it's a pretty tight timeline, so I guess we'll see if I can actually hold to it. But yeah, that's what I have for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you will come back for more because this airplane is almost done, and it's going to look really, really nice when it's done. So that's all I really have for this one. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and bye for now.